Jason, with your final pick, rounding out your squad of Super Mario 64, Star Fox 64, Banjo Kazooie, Paper Mario. What is the 13th pick of the Nintendo 64
Okay.
game draft?
Oh my god. I feel like oh man. All right, I'm gonna take my sleeper hit, I guess, and not choose a Nintendo game.
Oh.
I know. Um, but I absolutely loved Harvest Moon 64, so
Whoa!
I am picking that. Which I know I
Whoa!
will never be on the actual
Off the board.
N64 classic. Yeah, I know.
Wow.
So if you never played Harvest Moon 64, it's essentially the reason why you have Stardew Valley. But no, it's a farming sim, and I think it's essentially like a semi-enhanced port of I think Back to Nature on the PS1. But it's N64, and it's the first time I ever played it, and I loved that game. And I think it was the sim game I ever enjoyed. It's very relaxing. It's fun. It has really cute art style. And I just remember not knowing why I liked it so much, but I couldn't stop playing it. And like every time I would come home, I would just be like, man, I gotta go to my farm and do this stupid game again. And it was just so fun. And like being able to like, get a wife and like raise your farm and just you see your success go forward. It's a different feeling than when you collect like a star in Mario 64.
Mm-hmm.
It feels more like you worked to earn this as opposed to you figured out like a puzzle. And I liked it. And I think I don't know, it has a special place in my like gaming catalog for that reason. And if they had an N64 Classic, that would be a big surprise, which I guarantee won't be on there, but I would like it if it is.
Wow.
It could be. I mean, I haven't played it. Surprise. I haven't played it, but I'm thankful for it if Stardew Valley is the result of that game. But no, I mean, I think it's like there are some choices on the NES and SNES classics that I'm like, that was an interesting choice, but I see why they did that. So I mean, Harvest Moon could very well be one of those that makes it.
Yeah,
but
that's true. Yeah.
I've never played a Harvest Moon game. I haven't played Stardew. So I don't really have anything to contribute there. But other than like, holy crap, it made it on this list, and there are some other huge Nintendo games that are gonna make this cut because we only got 2 picks.
Yeah. I passed on some other games that have 64 in the title. So.
Oh man. For people who are watching this right now thinking like, oh man, is Mario Party going to make it on this list? Is Smash Bros. Going to make it on this list? How about Conker's Bad Fur Day? You're going to have to rely on JJ for that because with the number 14 pick, I am taking Pokemon Puzzle League.
Oh, not Pokemon Snap?
No. Oh, we haven't even talked about Pokemon Snap.
It's on my list, yeah.
Too late.
No. Yep, so, you already picked it.
For people who haven't played Pokemon Puzzle League, it is basically the Pokemon version of Tetris Attack, also known as Puzzle League in North America or Panel de Pon, which is a match 3 puzzle game where blocks are coming up from the ground and you're trying to match the shapes in rows of 3. So this is that game. If you've played Tetris Attack, and you know this is a phenomenal puzzle game. It is one of the best, maybe the best competitive puzzle game that I've ever played. One of my favorites. I was actually streaming this with my brother. Not Pokemon Puzzle League. I was streaming Tetris Attack with my brother like a week or two ago. And like I just love the risk reward of you can push your blocks up to the top, which gives you more blocks to create chains. But of course, you're giving yourself like very little room. If they dump one garbage block on you, you're screwed. And so this pretty much just throws a Pokemon skin on top of it. But it also includes a 3D mode, so instead of just like a row of 6, it actually does like a full sphere all the way around of like 20 or 30 blocks. So you have this massive play field to play along.
That's cool.
And because I love Puzzle League, that particular game so much, I want a version of it on the Nintendo 64 Classic, especially since Tetris Attack did not make it on the SNES Classic because of rights issues. Nintendo doesn't own the Tetris name. But it did end up on the Japanese Super Famicom Classic, so I'm still salty about that and debating buying one of those.
Buy one.
Yeah.
This is number 14 is admittedly the first game I have not played.
Whoa! Okay. Yeah. Have you played Tetris Attack? Or
yes, yeah, I have. Okay. I have.
Okay.
Yeah, I have no comment, but it sounds like a game I would want to play.
Yeah,
because I generally like those type of Tetris-y games. But they have to be interesting. They can't just be like, oh, it's basically Tetris, but not called Tetris. But it's something that is changes up the formula. So that sounds like something I would. So I hope it makes it on the actual N64 Classic. Actually,
I think it's a lock. I think. Well,
I mean, Pokemon makes sense, but I like Pokemon Snap. I don't know.
Yeah, I know Nintendo does love Panel de Pon, and they put it out on everything. It was in the last Animal Crossing game in some form.
Yeah.
So they do love it. They just can't pull the best version of it out because of the Tetris name attached to it. But they do roll it out every time they can. So I think this one's a pretty safe bet.
You're just convincing yourself. So
fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. All right, JJ. Last pick.
All right.
There are some big games still on the table. What are you taking?
I know. So I still got to go with my nostalgia on for my list. So I'm gonna upset some people, I think.
Do it.
But and again, I think this falls in there with Excite Bike 64 probably. But I named Excite Bike before this one because it's probably the better game. But I gotta say Pilot Wing 64.
Whoa!
Only because it was one of those, like, you know, when Pilot Wings hit the SNES, it was like mode 7, look, and it was like this kind of faux 3D, you know, that a lot of the SNES games had, but now and then N64, I've said before, like, oh, now it's really 3D. You can fly around this island, and so it's, again, I don't think if I played it now, probably wouldn't be so impressed with it.
Yeah.
But the nostalgia, I'm just like, I would want it just because it's like, it was one of the first games that I played, I think. I should have looked up when these games launched, but
I feel like that was a launch.
Pilot Wings.
I want to say it was an early release.
It was one of the 2 launch games for the Nintendo 64.
Okay, yeah. So it was. I mean, I may have ended up getting actually Mario 64 first. I mean, who would?
Like everybody else.
Like everybody else, yeah. But
you made the right. That's why it's number 1 and not number.
That's why it's number 1. Yeah. But it was, you know, it was just another one of those games that it was basically a sequel, you know, or the 3D version of this game you played before on the SNES. So,
right.
It was just, that was part of my N64 history. So even if it sucks, it's got to be on my list.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, man.
And so that concludes the Nintendo 64 game draft. That is a crazy list, if I may say so myself. Let's pull up the final board here. Oh, I'm sorry, JJ, I messed up your head here in this final video. But let's round it up from the top. First pick, Super Mario 64. Number 2, Ocarina of Time. Number 3, Mario Kart 64. Number 4, Star Fox 64. Number 5, GoldenEye 007. Number 6, F-Zero X. Number 7, Banjo-Kazooie. Number 8, WWF No Mercy. Number 9, Majora's Mask. Number 10, Paper Mario. Number 11, Mario Golf. Number 12, Excitebike 64. Number 13, Harvest Moon 64. Number 14, Pokemon Puzzle League. And number 15, Pilot Wings 64.
I'd buy that.
So before we talk about snubs, what do you guys think of this? What do you guys think of this order from 1 to 15?
I mean, solid. Like, I think, like, no offense to Pilot Wing 64, but I think, like, if we're counting down to the best ones, I feel like, it kind of makes sense that you go down. But like, I mean, as you were counting them off, Jed, I'm just thinking, like, all these games are Nintendo games besides like 3 or 4 of them. But like, I mean, that's what makes the console, you know? Like, and they're all, like, so many of them are just definitive versions of the entire series in many respects. And I think that's really, really good. And that's just a characteristic of the system and the quality of the games that are on there. So we could probably add 15 more and still have a solid set.
Yep.